What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today we need to talk about these reprints. Now, as always, I'm going to tell you the best information I've got, and I'm going to tell you that things change, and the information being shared around in lieu of an official announcement on the Bandai website or something along those lines is subject to change. But I am hearing from a couple different places exactly what's coming soon in terms of a reprint, and this is awesome. Now, I'm hearing that these are actually coming in the UK. Now, that doesn't mean very much one way or the other. It would suggest to me that there is some stock of this stuff. I mean, let's take Romance Dawn. Romance Dawn is on the list, which is really exciting. And just to be clear, what's coming is really exciting. This does not mean it's coming to the US as well. The information I've got, and I've heard from a couple of different people, some with more proof than others, but with very credible information, let's be clear, I'm hearing it in the UK. But I would expect this to also be the case in the US. If there is extra stock either being printed or being distributed, I would expect it to be around the place. If it's in the US, I'd expect in the UK and vice versa. That is not confirmed, that is a theory on my part. And like I've said, I do believe this, I have done some digging, it does seem credible, so we're going to have a look. And there are two booster sets which are included here, and it's Romance Dawn OP01 and Paramount War OP02. And this is what I said the other day when I told you guys we need to be very careful of rumours. I know that one of the prevailing theories doing the rounds at the moment, and I know there's good reason for it, is that the reprint's going to be focused around OP05, and that could absolutely be true. But it seems like in the meantime we've got OP01 and OP02 coming back. Now, here's the thing. I don't know how wide this is going to be. The information I'm hearing is that this is limited to TCG Plus stores, i.e., the restock is coming to stores which are running regular One Piece organised play events. Which is exactly what it should be for. Now, as always, we can't ever know for certain, right? But it is way more likely that stores that are running events regularly are going to actually be making sure this product gets into the hands of actual fans and gets into the hands of fans without spending a huge premium. Again, don't know for certain, but that seems to be a lot more likely. They are going to go out of their way to try and make sure that it's given to the right people, and they're using it for, maybe it's price support, maybe it's selling with limits, whatever, but it's likely, not guaranteed by any stretch of the imagination, but likely that it's getting to the right people, whereas we all know there are a bunch of stores out there that essentially will go, ooh, I've got some stock of sets which have been sold out for a while, I can make a bunch of money on this. And yes, they can, but that's at the expense of consumers. Bandai seem to be going out of their way here to basically be making this product available in the best place possible. And as a side note, can we all give Bandai some props for this? For going out of their way to try and funnel the stock they have of these hard-to-get sets into the stores that are most likely to do right by the players. And I'm not saying that stores that aren't TCG Plus won't do right by players, and I'm not saying that stores that do absolutely guarantee that they will. I'm saying that stores that have a regular series of events and a dedicated player base are more likely to be looking out for them than other stores that don't have that dedicated player base and those regular events. So this is wonderful, and I love that Bandai have done this. Is it a huge restock? No, honestly. The phrasing I have been hearing is very limited. But there is still stuff out there. It is going to be available for stores to order. And you know the deal at this stage, stores are going to have to order it and then it's going to get delivered. And, it's not something that's going to be finding its way into stores tomorrow. But it is going to be out there. And that is absolutely wonderful. I am hearing June, but I'm not sure if June is going to be when the stock arrives in stores or when the stock arrives to be sent out. What I will say is If June is when the stock is coming, that doesn't exactly scream, hey, we found a bunch in the back, now does it? If it's going to be 3 months down the line before the stock is even available, that is suggesting to me that it is actually more of a reprint. Now, it's described as very limited, and it's all being done in the space of 3 months, or, we're not saying it started now, it could have started a while ago. But my point is, it does feel like they're reprinting, but it's a very small reprint. That is not confirmed. That is what's seeming likely, and I adore this. Look, OP-01 Romance Dawn is the big set, and I know that there is the first print set with a blue bottom and all of that. No, it's obvious. I mean, I would love it if they did. I would love it if this reprint was blue bottom just to troll everyone. That would make me so happy. Unlikely, but it would be kind of cool. But then, we've got things in there like, obviously, Manga Shanks, and we've got the Nami in there, and then we've got, leaders like Zoro and Law and Luffy that are, shall we say, not the cheapest leaders out there. It is a very, very good set to reprint. Paramount War, less so if I'm honest with you, but it's still a pretty cool set. You've got Manga Ace there. And the Borsalino is actually going to be, one of the most expensive cards. There's only one card other than the manga, which is higher than it at the moment. That is obviously the Newgate leader. But then we've got those cards. Then you've got things like, I'll be honest with you, after them, it's like the Garp leader, Smoker leader, Sanji leader. It's not exactly the same. OP-02... Like OP-01, we desperately needed a reprint as much as possible because that set is impossible to get a hold of and there's so much cool stuff in there, etc. OP-02, I'm going to be honest with you, it's not the same. We aren't in the same situation, but that doesn't mean it's not a cool set to get back. One of the things that is going to make a lot of people happy, Starter decks 1 to 6. That is the Red Luffy deck, the Green Kid deck, the Blue Crocodile deck, and the Purple Kaido deck. They're all getting reprinted or redistributed. Again, I can't say for exactly what's happening here. And then obviously Starter Deck 5, which is a film, and Starter Deck 6, which is the Navy. But we know the deal with these at this stage. Some of these cards are getting a little bit silly. So in Starter Deck 6, we've got Hina, for instance. Great card. Yeah, that card right now is worth, one copy of that card is basically worth what the starter deck should be worth. That is not ideal. The Queen from the Kaido starter deck, yeah, that's actually worth somewhere in the region of double. One copy of that is about double the starter deck. And I'm not going through every single example. You get the point here. There are a lot of these cards from the starter deck which are basically unavailable and massively jumping up in price. We don't love this. So the idea that we're getting a reprint of these starter decks is huge. And these starter decks have been gone for a while now. These are not starter decks. Now in Japan, you can find some of these fairly easily, at least when I was out there in August, which I'm aware was actually a while ago now at this stage, which makes me really sad. I want to go back. But the point is, they were more available over in Japan than they were over here. But over here, these starter decks have not been available. OP-01 and OP-02 have not been available. The fact that they're coming back is awesome. Now, this does lead to a bunch of questions to which I do not have answers. Now, I absolutely believe this is true, and I've heard it from a couple of people. I've seen some proof this seems to be legit, which is why I'm bringing it to you. But it doesn't mean that this is going to be the norm. This could be the only reprint we see of these early cards. I've told you that we're expecting most of the reprints to focus on OP-05 and later. I still expect that to be true, just to be clear. It just so happens that we've got this coming in a little bit beforehand. We got this coming in that little bit earlier. And if you're a One Piece fan, you should be delighted about this. One of the things I think we need to bear in mind here, Bandai are clearly trying. And that doesn't mean everything is going perfectly. And it doesn't mean that there's no issues whatsoever. Not what I'm saying by any stretch of the imagination. What I'm saying is, Bandai are clearly trying. and clearly going out of their way to try and make these cards available. The fact that they're actually making available the first 2 sets and the first 6 starter decks is genuinely awesome and something I wasn't personally expecting. The fact that they're making it available to TCG Plus stores who are running events rather than making it available wide where it's more likely to be scalped is genuinely awesome. And look, obviously I'd love to tell you everything's being reprinted, it's going to be super available, but as I've told you before, one of the biggest issues of these One Piece reprints, and they have been officially acknowledged, they told us we are getting reprinted sets, this is going to happen, but one of the biggest problems we've got here is that the One Piece card game is too popular. They're having to try and print as much as they can as the new sets while reprinting the old sets, and that leads to issues with just people want everything and there literally just isn't enough printing capacity. And I know a lot of people have said things like, well, why don't they just increase printing capacity? Well, I'm pretty sure they are. And certainly if I were in charge, I would be. Like, does anyone honestly think Bandai are not upping their capacity for printing as fast as possible? Bandai don't care about the secondary market. They have no interest in trying to make sure these cards are valuable. Bandai want to sell as many cards as they can because they're a profit-making business and they make money selling cards. So if I were Bandai, I would be trying to reprint as much as I can. The problem is, it's so popular right now that they literally cannot print it fast enough. So there we go. That's the information that I've heard. It absolutely seems legit. And a lot of you have been asking me questions about these reprints. What are they? When are they coming? Well, look, I've told you what's coming. I've told you it's going to be starting around about June time, but that could be kind of distributors get it in June, and then it takes a little while to get out there. I've told you all the information I have, and now it's over to you guys. Do you want to see these much older sets and, original starter decks being reprinted? Would you rather just see more stock for the new sets coming out? Tell me all of your opinions in the comment section. Go nuts! Be nice! And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at Lawasi. That's where we talk One Piece and a bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts, join a Discord, and all kinds of fun things. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching Wossy Plays.